President Biden also reportedly delaying that address to the nation. He's supposed to talk about his winter plan, which was billed as protecting Americans against the Delta and Omicron variants. Now, we're sure he's going to talk about vaccines and getting the unvaccinated vaccinated. Meanwhile, OSHA's vaccine mandate penalties will start for businesses on January 10th. That's not stopping people from fighting back, though. One Louisiana grocery store owner is helping to top the vaccine mandate or stop it with help from a nonprofit law firm. Let's welcome in now Brandon Trosclair. He is the owner of Ralph's Market and Butcher Boys stores. Great to have you with us. Also joining us is the attorney on the case, Daniel Suhr. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on down there in Louisiana with your grocery stores in Mississippi. You know, I know Louisiana has different rules than Mississippi, but you're expected to play ball with this OSHA vaccine mandate?
That's what it looks like, John, that they're going to continue to try to force us to comply. But, it was disappointing what happened in the Sixth Circuit, what they ruled. But we're as motivated as ever, and we're going to fight this thing all the way to the Supreme Court, and hopefully we're victorious there.
Daniel, I want to get your response to what happened in the Sixth Circuit and also what we saw out of the Supreme Court recently last week with their refusal to push back against the New York State vaccine mandate. I mean, there are rulings all over the place when it comes to the law here. What is the right rule for all of this? What's fair for the businesses and for the public at large?
Yeah, what's fair, John, is for this to be struck down. The Supreme Court has already heard a case like this involving the eviction moratorium from this summer, and they struck it down because it was illegal. It exceeded the power of the government. We expect the same thing to happen on these OSHA mandates, and honestly on the other mandates that we're seeing coming from the Biden administration. All of them have the same fundamental problem, that they exceed the power of the government, that they're invading, intruding into businesses like Brandon's, and really intruding into the personal medical freedom of Americans.
And Brandon, I wanted to ask you about these reports. I mean, we heard Larry Hogan, he's vaccinated. Elizabeth Warren, she's vaccinated. Cory Booker's vaccinated. Jason Crow of Colorado, Democrat, vaccinated. They have all recently contracted these breakout cases. I mean, that shows us that the vaccines aren't stopping the spread. It might keep you safer. A lot of the evidence points that it's going to keep you from dying and out of the hospital. But if the goal here is stopping the spread, which it was at one point, how are these vaccine mandates helping any of that?
Yeah, I don't think it's helping, John. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a grocery guy, but I think it's proof. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people catching the new Omicron variant, is that it's people that's already been vaccinated, multiple boosters, and quite frankly, it's just not working. So it's just unfortunate they keep pushing this on us time and time again.
Well, that's the thing, right? Isn't it, Brandon, that we don't live life in a laboratory where science takes place. You live life in the real world, and we have to be able to balance keeping people safe and allowing people like you to operate their businesses. I mean, it might be complicated, but it shouldn't be that hard to at least get to that point, right?
No, it shouldn't be. It's really disappointing that where are we at in America when the government is going to force a business owner to force his people to get a vaccine, or for me to fire them where they can't make decent wages and living to supply for their family. It's really sad. It really is. Yeah,
I think, you really reach a tipping point for a lot of folks who may be very pro-vaccine, but when you start to fire people for medical decisions, that really gets into, a very difficult area, and I think a very tricky area legally, too, Daniel.
Yeah, it is something that the Constitution reserves really to the people and to the states, these important personal decisions. This is the sort of decision that should be between a person and their doctor, not between a person and their boss, not between a bureaucrat in Washington, D.C., and certainly not between an individual American and President Biden. This is for us to choose, and courts are going to vindicate that right.
Yeah, there's still so many legal cases out here. We've got people allegedly being arrested in New York for not following rules here. You got the New York State Assembly as well, talking about giving more power to the governor there to consider people significant threats to public health, basically arresting them just for that. The slippery slope argument. I used to dismiss it out of hand, Daniel, but you can't do that anymore.
No, one of the things that's important about these cases is that we limit the power of the government in each of our individual lives. Because if the federal government can mandate these things, there's really no stopping point. If the federal government can classify this disease as a workplace hazard, then it can classify any public health issue as a workplace hazard. And all of a sudden, a government mandate to eat healthier, or to get rid of sugary soft drinks in workplaces, or to have gun control in states that might otherwise have concealed carry. Like, all those things become possible if we redefine workplace safety away from specific concerns because of your job into anything that bothers the Biden administration. I don't think the Supreme Court's going to let us go there.
We will see. The Supreme Court kind of gave us a surprise last week, but we'll see how it goes from here. Brandon, Daniel, thank you guys so much for your time. And Brandon, how is things going otherwise? Christmas season, I know we've had some supply chain issues. Just wanted to ask you about your stores there.
Yeah, business has been great, John. Thanks for asking. You know, down here in South Louisiana, we didn't get to have as many get-togethers and parties last year for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so we're double timing it this year. And business is good, and people are happy to be out and be with their family and fellowship, and everybody's looking forward to having a great Merry Christmas.
Knowing the little bit I know about food in southern Louisiana, I got hungry when I just heard the names of your stores. I imagine there's going to be some good food had down there this holiday season.
Absolutely.
So. Great to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.